It took me 40 years to get to be where I am now.
He's the most famous dentist in the world.
Dr. Bill Dorfman.
Dr. Bill Dorfman.
Dr. Bill Dorfman.
And friend to many in Hollywood.
I love doing Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey, and we've become really good friends. And of course, the Osbournes. If you're a young dentist just starting to practice and you want to know what made the biggest impact in my practice and my career,
he's passionate about giving high-quality service.
you need to have the steak and the sizzle.
You have to be good at what you do. If you have all the great marketing, but you're not good at what you do, then that's not going to work.
Please welcome our special guest, Dr. Bill Dorfman.
All right, we are live, and I'm excited. I get to do awesome things. I love my job, and I get to talk to awesome people. And it's because of people like this that I get to talk to that I learn and I grow, and our audience learns and grows as well. So Dr. Bill, thank you so much for coming on. And I want to ask you, what's the number one thing right now that is helping you grow and helping other dentists that you've seen grow, just from your experience, from your point of view?
Okay, well, if you want to know what's making me grow versus what makes other dentists grow,
Yes.
these are apples and oranges. Because,
Let's talk about that.
and I'll tell you why. It took me 40 years to get to be where I am now. I've been practicing 41 years. So if you're a new dentist fresh out of school, this isn't going to work for you. But, being where I am today is a whole different arena than I was in when I first got out of dental school. And I would say, building my practice over the last 41 years has been an integral part in the growth. And the reason that we can continue to bring in these big cases with full mouth reconstruction, all that, is from the reputation that we built over the years and years and years. So I would say if you're a young dentist just starting to practice and you want to know what made the biggest impact in my practice and my career, PR. And
So break that down. Public relations. So you don't hear that very much in dental.
Yeah, right out of the gate. I was very lucky. I went to high school with a woman named Sue Hartzler. She came into my dental office because she needs some work. She said, "Do you want to barter?" I'm like, "Okay, what do you do?" She says, "I do PR." I'm like, "Okay, what do you do?" She goes, "No, that's public." I had no idea. And I really didn't even want it, but I kind of felt like I'd be a jerk if I said no. So I'm like, okay.
Thank you for being honest.
Well, it was the smartest thing I ever did, because right out of the gate, she got me on magazines and, TV. And I mean, she was amazing. And from there, I kept going to the next level and the next level. Then, of course, all of that culminated in me being able to be on ABC's Extreme Makeover, which was a game changer. I mean, all of a sudden, I'm on primetime TV every Thursday night. Dentistry was never on primetime TV. And if it was, it was not good. It was like almost Papa Orrs, right?
Yeah.
So, and in addition to that, I invented Zoom tooth whitening. So in addition to being on ABC's show Extreme Makeover, now I get to talk about, Zoom tooth whitening every night. So sales from our company exploded. New patients are coming in. I mean, so when you say like what made my practice grow, it's not the typical growth pattern. However, if you can learn to master social media today and you can learn how to publicize yourself, there will be growth. But you have to remember this. You need to have the steak and the sizzle, right? You can't be all sizzle and then not deliver. So if your clinical skills are not up to par, you can advertise the heck out of yourself. Your practice isn't going to grow. I started taking tons and tons. I took hours and hours and hours of CE. I went to the AACD and I took courses. I took aesthetic courses. I mean, I needed to be able to deliver. And when you combine the steak and the sizzle, it's a home run.
Hey, got an important announcement for you. We are hosting the second annual Full Arch Advantage event where you learn to create, convert, and close more full arches so your office can grow the way that you want. This is going to be in partnership with BioHorizons, and this is our second year, but the important part is it's going to be virtual, so you don't have to fly out, buy hotels, travel with your team. You can just register and block off the days and watch virtually. And right now we have early bird pricing. It's never going to be cheaper than right now. I don't even have a discount code because it's so cheap. It's only $199 right now to register, and it's for your team. It's for your dentists, it's for your treatment coordinators, your dental assistants, and your marketing managers. And you're going to learn a ton of stuff to grow. Last year's event had a 74 NPS score, which is amazing. And the feedback was really, really good. So if you're looking at leveling up, we have a ton of new content, a ton of new automations and things that you can add to your practice to really grow. And we're going to be going over a lot around sales and executing on the phones to make sure that you can grow the way that you want. So don't miss this. Go to Full Arch Advantage right now and sign up. This price will not be around for long.
That's awesome. And I love that you said that because it is so important, right? You have to be good at what you do. If you have all the great marketing, but you're not good at what you do, then that's not going to work. But what if you flip that around? So a lot of dentists, I feel like, are amazing clinicians. They're like God gifted with their hands. They can do things that just not a lot of other people can do, but they don't have the sizzle, right? They don't want to, they're not good on camera. They're not.
Here's the great thing. You don't need to be great on camera. You can hire people to do PR for you. You know, like I have 2.2 million followers on Instagram. I don't do that. I have a whole team that does my Instagram. You say, well, why do you need that? Well, it brings in tons of new patients. You know, I just did a new series for Amazon Prime called The 60-Day Hustle, which will be coming out in a few weeks. And, you know, it's kind of like Shark Tank meets The Apprentice. And
that's so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. But these things don't just happen. You know, you need to plant the seed and make them happen.
Got it. And so you need to go seek help, find somebody that can help you with this kind of, specifically you said PR, which I find is fascinating because I don't think you're the first person I've ever heard say PR as the answer. Obviously it's worked for you. How viable? Well, you're also in.
Here's the thing. I'm not like any other dentist you've ever met either.
Yes, exactly.
So
exactly.
You're on a whole. Funny you're saying that I'm the first person you've ever interviewed who said PR. I mean, dude, that's the thing. I mean, you know, I was blown away. Somebody called me up and said, dude, did you know you're ranked #1 on ChatGPT as the most famous and respected dentist in the world? And I'm like, no, really? And I go ahead and it's like, and that's not like, you can't buy that. That's not,
no, you can't buy that. Yeah.
Like that's all AI stuff. And so apparently the PR part worked.
Yeah, no, it definitely worked. And you've also capitalized on it. You figured out a lot of things and figured out how to leverage it. And you've done a great job of that. What I'm curious about, so you're in LA, right? So if there's a dentist in Indianapolis, right? And do you think that if you were born in Indianapolis or you lived or practiced out there, do you feel like that would have gone the same way? Or do you feel like you need to be in certain markets?
First of all, I have patients that fly to my office from India, from China, from, you know, like everywhere in the world. All right. I know dentists that are in really, really rural areas, like, you know, in the middle of Oklahoma somewhere. But they've got such a great reputation that people will fly in from Europe to see them too. So yeah, it helps when you're in Nashville or New York or LA or something, obviously. But I would say if you're a great cosmetic dentist, people will, you know, it's like Field of Dreams. They will come.
Yeah. I love that. I love that perspective. And I love that I want to call this out too. You're a real dentist. Like a lot of people are going to see all of your publicity and all those kind of things. You came into this podcast and you were like, hey, Gary, sorry, I was running a couple minutes behind. I was just with a patient. So you're in practicing, you're in working on patients. I absolutely love that. I love your perspective of bringing both of these worlds together and doing it at a level that nobody else is doing it. Now, I want to kind of pivot on you a little bit because I want to talk about the current state of the dental market and get your feedback on this. So currently in the dental industry, you got a lot of different things going on. You got the consolidation. So you got DSOs buying up practices and things like that. You got the single practitioners. And you also have the students that are coming out of school with $500,000 in debt. What are your, and you can take this any direction you want. What are your thoughts or what were your words for people in the current state of the dental industry?
I mean, I would say the best advice I could give anybody in any profession you're in, from dentistry to being owning a floral shop, is something that we teach at Leap. I'm going to do a quick plug. I do
Do it.
a nonprofit every summer for high school and college kids age 15 to 25. This year we'll be at USC. The dates are July 21st to the 27th. We'll have 400 or 500 kids at the program where we basically teach them skills that they need to be successful in life. And these are not for pre-dental students. These are for kids that want to really go into anything. And we get great speakers. I've had Richard Branson, Anthony Hopkins, Mark Wahlberg,
Oh, wow.
Paula Abdul, Kathy Bates, Michael Strahan. I mean, it's an amazing program. But the one thing that I like kids to walk away from this program with is this: copy genius. Okay. So if you're a dentist and you've just graduated and you've got all these challenges, there's somebody else that has the exact same situation who's doing really, really well. What are they doing? And copy that. I didn't have that. When I went to dental school, we didn't walk out with debt like that. You know, I mean, I paid $9,000. No, my first year
man.
of dental school was $7,000, then $9,000, then $11,000. Then I was done. So I paid off all my dental
30,000
loans in like the first few months I practiced. So there are, and I know young dentists that graduate dental school, they go out and they do, you know, they work in different clinics and different things. I mean, there are ways where you can. I know one guy that walked out of dental school, moved to Texas, worked in a pedo clinic where he was making $50,000 a month. He was so excited about it. He got his girlfriend to come and do it with him. So to combine, they made $100,000 a month. They saved up for a year and then started buying dental practices. And today they have more than 40 dental practices. So there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat.
Yeah, there are. I agree with you. There's so many opportunities. And if you focus on, well, they're doing this or it's this expensive now, and that's the only thing you focus on, then you lose out on those opportunities. You can't see them. And I totally agree with you. Okay. So here's a clinical question right now. What is your favorite treatment that you are doing right now? Like what are the treatment? Obviously you kind of probably get to pick what you want to do in your office. What kind of treatments are you taking in?
My favorite treatments are still smile makeovers. We probably do more porcelain veneers than anybody in the world. And we have our own lab technician who's with us the whole time we're doing the cases. And I love doing that. I mean, there's
how many veneers are you doing a month?
How many am I doing a month?
Yeah.
Lots.
He just flashed up five. Okay.
I come in, I do more. So I couldn't even tell you how many I do a month, but I do a lot.
So that's your favorite treatment. Those are the ones that you really look forward to doing. And
yeah, I mean, the challenging stuff are doing all, the all-in-X stuff with imaging and all that. I mean, but I still love just doing like awesome veneer cases.
That's great. Well, who's the most interesting person that you've ever done treatment on, or you've given like dental advice to?
That
you're allowed to share. Don't break HIPAA laws or anything like that.
Because of HIPAA, I can't really tell you, but I can tell you the ones whose TV shows I appeared on, because that's not a violation of HIPAA. So I love doing Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey, and we've become really good friends. And of course, the Osbournes. I mean, you can never have a dull moment in your office when Ozzy comes in.
Yeah, I bet you that would be absolutely wild. Awesome. Well, I really, really appreciate you coming on. Is there anything, final words or any final plugs that you want to get in front of people and get out there to the dental world?
Yeah, I mean, I've got two big things happening this year, business-wise. During the pandemic, I invented two new products, and you'll see them on the market, and they're both pretty cool. One is called Poof, and they're tooth whitening strips that melt in your mouth. So they're kind of like the leading white strips on the market, but ours actually dissolve when you put them on your teeth. So they're not on Amazon right now. They will be soon. You can get them on the website. It's poofwhitening.com, spelled with 3 O's, POOOF.com. And the other are kickballs. I made a brand of caffeinated gumballs, which are, it's kind of like Red Bull in a gumball. And the
Oh, wow.
tagline for kickballs is kickballs, kickballs.
Man, you are absolutely crushing it. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and I really appreciate you taking the time to share what you're doing, what you're passionate about, and also helping people who are in the industry still and being an amazing dentist. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks, Gary.
All right.
Take care.
Awesome.